Hello, and welcome to Creative Practice with Greg Zabel. Today we're answering the question, how can you make your piano chords more professional? A lot of folks, when we first learn chords, we learned them 3 notes in one hand, and sometimes we double them up. So we play 3 notes in both hands. But that's a very thick sound, not always desirable. Let's say we're playing a chord progression C, F, G, C. Of course it works. It doesn't sound good when you go down the octave though. What if you do this? Particularly that first chord is very muddy and, to me, undesirable. But if we play 2 notes in each hand, we get a sound with more space, and it's a sound that we can take down the octave too. With the space between these notes, the chord still has room to breathe. Still sounds good. So what you want to do is set your hand up, left pinky's playing the root, the note that gives the chord its name. 1 finger per white note. Don't skip any fingers, don't skip any white notes. Your thumb will end up on the 5th of the chord, the next note we need. So we have the left hand, thumb, and pinky. In the right hand, you're going to set the right thumb on the same note as the left pinky, just an octave higher. So here we have another C. 1 finger per white note, don't skip any fingers, don't skip any white notes. And it's the 3rd finger plays the 3rd of the chord. Here we have this. Applied to our chord progression C, F, G, and C, it sounds like this. Sounds great down the octave. Definitely a different feel down the octave. I think it sounds more majestic. If you're playing this voicing through the keys, you'll realize a couple things. C, F, and G are chords that use exclusively white notes. Let's take that same progression to the key of A. So that was 1, 4, 5, 1. In the key of A, that would be A, D, E, back to A. Now you notice here I'm playing 3 white notes and 1 black note. So let's count the half steps to get to that major third. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 half steps for that happy major sound. What if you run into some minor chords? Well, you want to lower the third by 1 half step, so that would be 0, 1, 2, 3. For C minor, we have 3 white notes and 1 black note. A piece that I like to show my students to get this concept is Also Sprach Zarathustra by Richard Strauss, also from 2001, A Space Odyssey, and if that movie's too old for you, maybe you've seen Toy Story 2, and in the beginning of the movie, Buzz Lightyear, he's in the video game, but we don't know that yet, and he's jumping along the lighted platforms. He's on his way to the power source, and before he grabs it, he falls down off the platforms. You hear this piece of music. I like this voicing because it puts the 3rd on top. The 3rd is the note that gives the chord its color, and a lot of good melodies feature the 3rd, so it's nice to have that note on top. Let's take another chord progression, but this time one that features black notes. How about D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, and bring it back home to D flat. So the left pinky is going to go on D flat. Before, I was saying 1 finger per white note, don't skip any white notes, and you're going to be fine. Well, this time, we need another black note. So to make sure we find the right black note, let's count the half steps between C and G. That was a good sound for our C major chord. So we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. When I go to play the D flat major chord, I'm going to make sure that I have 7 half steps. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The right thumb always goes on the same note as the left pinky for now. And then 4 half steps for that happy major sound. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. When you count the half steps, make sure you count every single note, whether it's white or it's black. So we have D flat, E flat major. As it happens, I can just take everything I have, 3 black notes and 1 white note, just take it up to the next key. Then for G flat, this is the only major chord that features only black notes. And and then A flat is the next key. And here we go again with 3 black notes and 1 white note under the right third finger. Bring it back home to D flat. You may notice that I sometimes lock my hands in these two positions and I move the chord voicings almost like I'm a T-Rex, and I just move them to the next notes that I need. You won't see a lot of professionals play like that, but it might help you get started if you're just trying out these chord voicings for the first time. I want to mention something else. In the right hand, we have the root and the third. Sometimes, depending on the chord progression, it sounds better or it feels more comfortable if we flip these notes. If we instead have the third and we take the root up the octave. So here we still have a D flat major chord, but the right hand is flipped instead of, we have this. So where would this fit? I think I like it at the end of this chord progression. So we have D flat, E flat, G flat, A flat, and then D flat with the flip. If you listen to the top notes of each chord, now we have a line that has some melodic interest to it. That chord progression now has a sense of finality to it. If you took a song like Africa by Toto, you hear this in the beginning. You can play that intro with my recommended voicings. You did see that I made a different... I chose a different fingering to get from chord 2 to chord 3. And sometimes we have to do that. Sometimes we make adjustments for the sake of the music. Now let's take a look at the chord progression from the chorus of Africa by Toto. We have F sharp minor. So, left pinky plays F sharp. I count my half steps. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right thumb is on the same note as the left pinky. And then 3 half steps for that sad minor sound. 0, 1, 2, 3. Then we have D major. So left pinky plays the root. 1 finger per white note, don't skip any. Right thumb plays the same note as the left pinky. And 4 half steps for that happy major sound. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we go to A. Left pinky on A. 1 finger per white note, right thumb plays the same note as the left pinky, 4 half steps, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then E, left pinky on E, 1 finger per white note, right thumb plays the same note as the left pinky, and then 4 half steps, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 for that happy major sound. All together we have this. Now there's a chord progression you've heard 1,000 times before, but I think Toto did it best. But I think this chord progression has some candidates for the flip maneuver in the right hand. Let's see if we can make this a little more elegant. We have F sharp minor to D major. Well, I can just keep the F sharp I have. There's the third of D, and there's the root. I got the flip in the right hand. Then when I go to the A chord, back to the original, and then E, why don't we try the flip here as well? That sounds great to me. Now we've got a line in the right hand that sounds like this. I think that's a little more interesting than what we had the first time. So it takes some experimentation to find out what you like and what best fits the musical moment. There's one more thing to talk about. You'll notice when you play C major, you have 2 white notes in the left hand. When you play D flat major, you have 2 black notes in the left hand. Continue on up. D, 2 white notes. E flat, 2 white notes. 2 white notes on E, 2 white notes on F, 2 black notes on G flat, 2 white notes on G, 2 black notes on A flat, 2 white notes on A, and then we get to B flat. Whenever the letter B is involved, that's when you have a crisscross situation in the left hand. You're going to have 1 white note and 1 black note, or 1 black note and 1 white note. So we have 7 half steps, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, crisscross. And then for B, we have 1 white note, 1 black note, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 half steps in the left hand, and there's the chord. So in general, you need to remember when you're playing perfect fifths in the left hand, if your pinky's on a white note, your thumb's going to be on a white note. If your pinky's on a black note, your thumb's going to be on the black note unless the letter B is involved. Whether you're playing a B major, B minor, or B flat major, or B flat minor chords, it's going to be crisscross, one white, one black. The more you practice these chord voicings in songs that you're working on, the less you'll have to count the half steps between the fingers. Eventually, you'll just be able to go by feel on the keyboard. I hope you'll use these chord voicings on songs that you're working on, and maybe even in your own compositions. Thanks so much for watching, and have fun being creative.